The Michael Berry Show.
A staffer for Sheila Jackson-Lee says she was raped by a man who worked high up in the Democrat Party. Said he invited her for drinks. Then they went to his house. She was texting her friend through the course of the evening saying, "Help, I need to get out." She thinks she might have had her drink spiked because she didn't know where she was. She couldn't think straight. She woke up the next morning. She says the man was wrapped around her. And she said, did we do anything last night? And he said, no, you just threw up everywhere. Well, if she threw up everywhere, he's probably not going to be all wrapped around her, huh? So she went to the hospital. They did a rape test on her. They found trauma consistent with rape. She ended up deciding to file charges. She had left. She had gone to work for Sheila Jackson-Lee. This guy was going to end up coming to Sheila Jackson-Lee. This woman goes to Sheila Jackson-Lee's chief of staff and says, this is what she says. We don't know this to be true, but it's what she claims. She says she told him that this man raped her. And then she says Sheila Jackson-Lee fired her. Now, of course, Sheila Jackson-Lee won't lose her position. Of course, nothing will ever come of this. It's not the first time a staffer has claimed this sort of treatment at the hands of Sheila Jackson-Lee. There are entire articles about it. One by Tim Fleck, that's the best one ever written, called Driving Miss Sheila, when he was writing for the Houston Press, when I think he did some of his best work. But there's another one by the Congressional Quarterly, I think. There's one by The Hill. Look up Sheila Jackson-Lee, bad boss, abusive, and you'll hear all sorts of stories. She also claims that she was required to drive Sheila around, and that Glenn Rushing, Sheila's chief of staff, said that one of the reasons she was fired was because her car wasn't nice enough. Sheila told her to buy a nicer car. Congressmen are not entitled to a chauffeur, and their staffers are not required to drive them around, certainly not on personal errands. But it has been since Sheila Jackson-Lee was on city council. I took her position on city council. And it has been since she was on city council, there have been allegations of her using staff to go pick up her dry cleaning and run her errands and do things like this. She is, by all accounts, a truly awful, mean human being. And guess who she's being mean to? Blacks, usually black women, one of whom claims in one of the articles about her that she referred to her as the N-word. Another one that she humiliated her in front of her parents when her parents came to Washington, D.C. to visit. Awful, awful things she has been alleged to say and do. You'll remember that she had hired the employee who was doxing the senators, releasing their children's names, their health information, their private addresses. That guy worked for her. Story after story of this clown, Sheila Jackson-Lee, getting away with this nonsense. And who's standing right next to the sheriff when little 7-year-old Jasmine Barnes was murdered? Who's standing right next to the sheriff right here in Houston, the sheriff of Harris County, and announcing that we need to call this what it is, a hate crime. And then it turns out it wasn't a quote-unquote hate crime. It was just your average run-of-the-mill black-on-black murder. And they said, do you feel bad that you said that? And she said, no. There's no feeling bad if a child has been killed. None of this applies. And she'll probably be on the evening news in Houston today, screaming and hollering about something. Who knows? Lord knows what. And she will continue on. And that's the game we play in this country. But people aren't stupid. People understand why she'll never be removed from office. People understand why, but they don't like it.
MichaelBerry.com